Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hadi to everyone. Happy Monday, day of the moon. Hope you all had a beautiful weekend. You put the philosophy into practice, yes? We're living the philosophy every day, a little bit here, a little bit there. We become, yogis refer to it as the book Bhagavat, a little bit every day, a little bit. So we're coming to the end of chapter 1 of the Bhagavatam. Questions by the sages. We left off at mantra 15. That was our last mantra. The great yogis.
We're at 19 or 20, actually.
We left off at 15.
19.
Sorry, my bad. 19. 19, thank you, Kai. Where the sages in the forest are excited to meet this pure soul, this old yogi, the oldest Vedantis. And they're saying, "O wise Sutta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme God's multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by His internal potency." So the rishis, they understand that God has many incarnations, not just one incarnation, right? A lot of time in the spiritual communities, people, they see time like this. Watch it. Linear. But the yogas and Vedic culture, astrology, Vedic astrology teaches time is cyclic. So again and again and again, God is continuously incarnated in different universes, different times, different yugas. So they want to hear about the multi-incarnations of God. Let's go to our next mantra. Mantra 20. Srila Prabhupada translates: Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balaram, played like a human being, and so masked, he performed many superhuman acts. So this is very amazing statement. The rishis, they know who Krishna is. They know that Krishna didn't become God through practice of meditation, through chanting. No. Krishna was God from the time he took birth. Right? In India, Srila Prabhupada mentioned it here, a lot of Indians, they think, oh, by your doing some meditation, you can become God. No. This is not bona fide philosophy. In India, as a teenager, I came across, in my time traveling in India, I came across about 6 people who claim to be Bhagavan. Amazing, right? You don't hear that much in the West. Only sometimes you hear someone claims to be Jesus Christ or so, but in India, it's very common. Anyone who has some mystic power, they are God. They claim to be God. But Arjun defeated that philosophy in the Bhagavad Gita. How did Arjun defeated that philosophy in the Bhagavad Gita? Anyone remembers which chapter? The title of the chapter, or if you know the chapter number.
The universal form of the...
Thank you. Thank you. After Arjun saw Krishna presented the universal form, Arjun was like, oh wow. Please take it away. I know who you really are. Everyone says you are Bhagavan. Now I get it. So if someone comes up to us and say they are God, you can ask them, please show me your universal form. If they cannot show you the universal form, you should know they are not God. So when Krishna took birth in this dimension, it's described he appeared to his parents. Does anyone recall how many arms Krishna appeared with? 4 arms in his Vishnu form. And then from his 4 arms, the 2 hands he transformed. And then as a little baby, a demon came to kill him in the form of a nurse. And she smeared her breasts with poison. And she came beautifully dressed. And she came into the house and Krishna's mom, all the cohort ladies there, she's so beautiful. And they gave baby Krishna to the demon. And the demon had smeared her breast with poison. And Krishna knew exactly who this person was. It wasn't deceiving. Looks can be deceiving, yes? I think we can all agree to that, yes? So, she looked like a saint, this person. And baby Krishna, her name is Putana, baby Krishna sucked on her nipple. The poison came out. Not just the poison came out of her nipple, but also her life force. She transformed back into the demon she was, and Krishna killed her. And of course, when Krishna kills someone, they get liberated. So it's described Putana went back to the spiritual world and became a nurse in the spiritual world. So this is God. God is God from birth. He didn't become God through some mystic. So here the Rishis says that Krishna appeared with his brother Balaram, and they were masked. They played the role perfectly of humans with superhuman powers. So we want to hear those stories about Krishna and Krishna's incarnations. We want to hear them again and again. So someone comes up to you and say, I've been meditating. Actually, in the West, I met one guy. I remember. I think I told you. I met one guy in LA. He came up to me. He looked at me. He said, I am the living Buddha. I was like, okay, the living Buddha. Nice to meet you. Hope you have a beautiful journey. I didn't get into it with him. You be the little Buddha. And he was with his girlfriend right next to him, right? And he was, last night I was in Samadhi. I was like, oh, very nice, wonderful, beautiful, man. Have a beautiful journey, right? So, no, he's not, he's a soul like me and you. And the incarnations of God don't get, like I said, don't become God through meditation. No. The incarnations, they're from their birth, from their child. They're already exemplifying these powerful traits of God. Krishna, as a little boy, he lifted a hill he's, I think, 7 years old, lifted a hill, Govardhan Hill for 7 days. Do that, please. Show me your universal form. So throughout Krishna's life, Krishna shows he is God. But he dressed in and he acted. He played the perfect role of a human. When he was a baby, he acted cry for mother's milk, acted perfectly. Right? As a cowherd boy, with his little cows and everything, played the perfect role. As a teenager, played the perfect role. As a king in Dwarka, played the perfect role as a king. But then the sages and saints, they recognize, no. Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, they played like human. They masked themselves. God masked himself so perfectly, but they're not God. And that's why in India today, a lot of people think, oh, through some meditation, they can be like Lord Ram. They can be like Lord Krishna. They can be like Lord Chaitanya. No, no, no. You're God from birth. You don't become God through meditation. So this is the point you're making, that they played like a human being, and so he performed many superhuman acts. Anyone in the group want to share another superhuman act that Krishna did, if you know any of Krishna's pastime? Besides the one I said, killing Putana, lifted Govardhan Hill. Anyone else?
It is very incomplete, but in the Mahabharata, in the Bhagavad Gita at the Kurukshetra war, when Arjun's wife was pregnant, was it that he put the older brother sent an arrow to kill, and then
Yes.
he took
So
it,
yeah,
something like
so
that.
the demon tried to kill the lineage of Arjun. So Arjun's grandson is in the womb. So Arjun's son is with him. Arjun's son is fighting on the battlefield. But Arjun's son, his wife is pregnant. So the demon, they wanted to kill the baby. So they sent a weapon to remove the king. And Krishna went and protected the king, protected the child, who became eventually King Parikshit within the womb. Yes. So that's another mystical superhuman feat. Anyone else knows another superhuman feat Krishna did?
When Lord Brahma took away Krishna's friends and the cows, Krishna somehow was able to recreate the same sets of them.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful story. We're going to Canto 1, Babadi, and we're at text 21. Canto 1, chapter 1, text 21. So yes, so we'll read all these stories that we're going to read them through the Bhagavatam. It's there in the Bhagavatam, but the story where Lord Brahma looked at Krishna and his cowherd friends, and he's thinking, he got bewildered. He's thinking, who's this little boy? Because Krishna plays the perfect role. And why is everyone loving him? People, they forget who I am. I'm Lord Brahma, the engineer of the universe. So then Brahma saw Krishna took his friends out to the forest. And when they went out to the forest, Brahma arranged for them to play a game. And Brahma stole all his cows and all his friends and put them in a cave for 1 year. But within that time, that 1 year, Krishna replicate his friends identically and the cows. Again, so Brahma is confused. Wait, I stole them. How are they still there? And that's a mystical experience. That story, thanks for bringing that story up, Rina, but I had a similar experience like that as a child. This was one of my first mystical experience. I was not even into yoga then. I was probably 13, and I had a summer job. The summer job was, the government took me out to mile 20 something on the road, and I was to do a statistician, right? So there's this one road where they go to break rocks to build. So all I need to do, any road a car pass, I click. So right, in one, I would be there from like 9 in the morning till 5. If I see 25 cars, that was a lot. Right, so I was the person working for the government tallying how many, and it went on for I did it for 1 month. But I remember one day there was a little creek and it had some little fishes, and I was so bored, right? So I thought, little fishes. I thought, wow, there's some cute fishes. I'm going to take a few home. So I remember this was out of the first mystical experience I had. Again, I've never been introduced to yoga yet. So I took a cup and I scoop up two fishes, little fishes, right? And I walk over like maybe 15 meters. I have a bigger bag. I'm going to put the fish, I put some water in there, and I put the two little fishes in there. I looked at them. Wow, okay, I'm going to take it. So I walked back and I caught like 3, 4, 5 more fishes. I walked back 15 meters. When I got to my box, what do you think was in there? No fishes. And I was like, wait, I'm sure. So I put 3 fishes there. I had 3 little fishes now, right? I'm looking at it. Okay, I'm sure I put 3 fishes there. I walked back, I ran, scoop up real fast. I got like 5 more little fishes. I ran back. When I got back there, no fishes. It blew my mind, even up to this day, right? Every time I filled it, it was empty. Has anyone had any experience like that before in their lives? As a child or something? That was the first, I was like, question this dimension. Something mystical has happened. I didn't know the words mystical. I didn't know the words now I understand what took place, right? We call it, in yoga culture, we call it manifestation, or you're able to replicate a material element, change the elements, and put it in another place, right? So now I know, but back then I didn't. So mystical, Brahma became bewildered. Anyone want to share a bewildered experience of their life? How did that happen? Anyone? Bewildered experience, mystical experience you had. Bewildering. We'll use the word bewildering because it's just not
I had
normal.
few instances where somebody out of nowhere, very distinct looking somebody too, either an older man happened once, a woman once, but pretty distinct looking. They came out of nowhere to help me. One in the airport, they gave their place for me because I was missing my flight to go on a visa line, and another time too. And as soon as I turn back, they're gone. But their favor was such a huge favor for me in the moment, and I
Yeah.
always thought like, what happened? They disappeared. How is that possible?
Yeah. So we call it apportation, right? Moving the elements. Amazing. Anyone else have an experience that bewildered you? Made you think?
I do. Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
do.
Babadi.
I was stuck in Spain back in 1971. I had no money. I came from a family with no money. I had friends with no money, and I was stuck. And I couldn't hitchhike out of Spain. I wanted to go back to Boston, so I kept going to the airport in Barcelona to try to get my ticket that was New York to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to New York. I thought I could just walk in and they'd give me a ticket to Boston. And the guy looked at me from KLM and said, "Sir, this is $2,000 more. We can't do this." So I walk away and I'm crying and I'm destitute. I'm walking down this hallway, and all of a sudden, out of the middle of nowhere, this guy yells up, "Excuse me, sir, come back." He comes back. He looks up in this code book and he says, "Where you going, Boston?" And he takes out his stamp and he puts me on a plane. And next thing you know, I'm in Boston, and I had $2.50 left, and my bus ticket was $2.25, and I had 25 cents to call my girlfriend when I got to the bus from Worcester, and it was out of the blue. There was no way for me to get out of Europe.
Yeah.
No way. And this
Bewildering
guy
moment.
came out of the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can never forget that guy.
Good. Excellent. Bewildering moment. Okay, let's continue. Mantra 21. The Rishis says, knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in this holy place to hear at great lengths the transcendental message of Godhead, and in this way perform sacrifices. So it's amazing. So the rishis, they have gathered in a Sacred place. So what considered a sacred place? Anyone? You know the philosophy already. What would considered a sacred place? How can you turn a place anywhere on the planet into a sacred place? Anyone?
Where people worship God.
Where people worship God. Good. That's a good answer. Anyone else?
And where he performed his pastimes.
And where God performed the pastimes. Good. Thank you. Anyone else? How can you create a sacred space in Hawaii? How can you create a sacred space in NYC?
Well, like something's happened there. I mean, she said pastimes, like something that constitutes a miracle of some sort.
Yes, right? So, yeah, excellent. So, a place where the energy, the vortex, a person was there or an incarnation was there, where people dedicated their time to the mode of goodness. And then they transcend the mode of goodness to Shuddhasattva. So growing up as a Christian, one of the places I always wanted to go to was I have never been yet. Maybe I will cross paths with it. It's in France, because I heard of Lords. Who've heard of Lords before, right? So growing up, I was like, whoa, what? Because that's where the Mother appeared, right? To this young girl who became a saint, and they later sainted her. So wherever we find someone who gets a vision through their devotion, that place becomes sacred, right? So we can see a sacred place can turn into your own home, right? Yvonne is saying something, yes? Yes. Wherever your altar is, she says. So your altar becomes a sacred space. You have a deity, a vibration, right? Through your deity. Wherever a saint, wherever someone did tapasya, austerity, and they evolve, you go to that place, you will feel that vibration. It becomes a sacred place. So Naimisharanya is sacred to the rishis. Why did they live in this forest? Because Lord Ram, the previous incarnation, Sita Ram Lakshman, they lived in this forest before. So wherever God lives, right, wherever the incarnation spends their time, so they said, we're here gathering. So now to burn off, they understand Kali Yuga has started. And as soon as let's do something to help people in Kali Yuga. So now we are very fortunate that we can do our Naimisharanya forest to hear the pastimes of Krishna through Zoom. Right? I am extremely grateful. I tried to research it, who created the World Wide Web, and they don't give you the names of the military engineers. All they said is when I did the research, it says, oh, the military, da da da, but they don't. So I just had to go telepathically to thank the engineers, right, who developed the World Wide Web. Yes. And in Kali Yuga, we know it can be filled with rajas and tamas, but we can also spiritualize it. Yes. So now we're looking at each other's rooms, even though we are thousands of miles apart. And it's in live streaming, right? I'm not saying a word and it reaches you 6 hours in Hawaii so engineering. So we're grateful for those amazing engineers. They said, and they're here to perform this sacrifice. What is the sacrifice they're ready to perform? Hearing the Bhagavatam. Amazing. So we can see as we study the Bhagavatam, this is what we're doing. We're following in the footsteps of these great, powerful saints, devotees, mystics, because they were caring for those individuals who will take birth in Kali Yuga, how to alleviate their suffering. Mantra 22, that was mantra. Srila Prabhupada translate. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the good qualities of a human being. This is one of my favorite mantras of the chapter 1. I won't say the Bhagavatam, of chapter 1. This mantra is so profound when you meditate on it. Later on in the Bhagavatam, we'll come across another powerful mantra. And it says, and Srila Prabhupada used an analogy from Chanakya Pandit, a great Brahmin. You have the ocean, the vast ocean, and in this ocean there is a board, a little board, and in the board, the center of the board, there is a hole like this. And the board might be, 4 feet long by 3 feet, 2 feet wide, but the board is floating, and in the center of the board is the hole in the vast ocean. So the ocean is so vast. And then we have a turtle in the ocean. What is the probability of when that turtle comes up, his head comes through that board? 0.0000001%. The huge ocean, Pacific Atlantic Ocean, right? You have a board with a hole. What is the probability of a random turtle needs air and comes up and his head comes through that hole? So that is how rare it is to meet someone like Sutta Goswami. So the rishis are like, wow, we don't know what good fortune we have to meet someone like you. So this mantra tells us, if we are coming in contact with Sutta Goswami's guidance of the Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami guidance of the Bhagavatam, it tells us that that soul in that body has done many pious activities in their previous lives and in this life. It's amazing. So whenever I meet someone who, I'm studying the Gita, I'm studying Bhagavatam, I'm like, really? Wait. What do you do for a living? Oh yeah, I drive trucks across New America, and you have with you the Bhagavatam in there? Yeah. I'm like, wait, you're not an ordinary truck driver. There is no way you are listening to the Sutta Goswami or Shukadev Goswami through sound vibration. That didn't happen to you ordinarily. No. You must have done many pious activities in your past life. So as we get to study the Bhagavatam, we should know that every one of us in this room must have done a lot of pious activities. And that pious activities means we must have been living in the mode of goodness, and we did some good for the planet, because that's the only vibration why we are attracted to here. That's how Sutta Goswami, Vyasadeva started the Bhagavatam. Someone comes in contact with spiritual sound vibration after the heart has been purified. So we know a representative then of Sutta Goswami, a representative of Shukadev Goswami, a representative of Vyasadeva, a representative of Narada Muni. If you meet someone who is in that lineage, you are very fortunate. So if we listen to the transcendental vibration, what these great sages are saying, that's how amazing we are when we understand our good fortune when we meet someone like that. So, and this lineage has come down, right, all the way to Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada's disciples. So when I met my guru, I read this mantra and I was like, whoa, because I understood my guru was in the lineage from all the way back to Narada Muni, to Vyasadev, to Sukadev, to Sutta. It's amazing. And now we're studying it. So what does that tell us? Each and every one of us has the ability to then be an extension of Sutta Goswami, to be an extension for others, because materialistic life, they understood. In Kali Yuga, we see Kali Yuga, people are just chasing material desires and they're fulfilling it. Pleasure comes for a short while, and it's followed by a lot of suffering, right? So we see that around. So if you see someone chasing it again and again and again, why not just gracefully share some wisdom with them to help them to remove their tension in the mind and the heart? So this is what this mantra is. This mantra is so profound. It tells me that each and every one of us in this room must have done something pious. Why we have an eager to hear. These rishis in the forest, they're eager to hear. Please tell us again and again and again. What did Arjuna, after Arjuna heard from Krishna, there's a part in the Gita where Arjuna is in love with Krishna so much. What did he tell Krishna? Don't stop speaking, Krishna. I just love hearing you speaking. Give me more philosophy. I want to hear you again and again and again. Aniyor, Aniyor. So the rishis are explaining. So we want to see the world, meet people through the vibration of the Bhagavatam. You are the captain. So they're accepting him as their guru. These are thousands of rishis, very evolved. But then they realize, oh, this person is even more evolved than us. Let me learn from him. So this is the beauty of the yoga culture. Whenever we meet someone more evolved than us, we don't envy them. There's no envy between these devotees. You can see their hearts are pure. They're like, whoa, let me learn from you. Let me study from you. And this is the beauty, right?
Yogi Charu,
Yes.
what the story about the hole and the turtle, though, I mean, I love that metaphor analogy,
yeah.
But where did that, is that
It
some
came
other
from-
text?
No, it's from one king about 500 years ago. He had in India, he had a Brahmin priest. The Brahmin priest's name is Chanakya Pandit. So Chanakya Pandit wrote many aphorisms or little nuggets like that. So Srila Prabhupada would always quote Chanakya Pandit from time to time. Yes. He was the Brahmin to the king. Like every politician should have a spiritual guide. Unfortunately, we don't have spiritual guides like Chanakya Pandit these days, or culturally, right? Like in India, you still see, like, I mean, the present. I was just in India, and I got on the plane, and one gentleman started to speak politics to me. I don't want to speak politics, right? He said, "Where you?" I said, "I'm living in America, USA." He said, "You know who's going to win the next?" I said, "I really don't want to. This guy. I came to America, to India, to spiritualize my mind. I don't want to talk about U.S. politics." Then he looked at me, and then he said, well, he was into it, right? And then he got in the Republican, okay, very good. And, then he says, and I said, "How is Modi?" Because there's election right now. He looked at me, he said, 95% of Indians love Modi. I said, "Really? That's not right. Something is wrong there." I didn't believe him. So we got chit-chatting. Everyone loves him. Da, 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 da. Yeah. I said, even, but you have about so many Muslims in the country who are, he said, no, 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 no. All the Muslim ladies love him. I said, really? I said, why? Because Modi established a law where the Muslim men cannot divorce by WhatsApp anymore. Apparently they were doing that, where they would divorce their wives through WhatsApp, then remarry. So Modi, so all the Muslims, so I said, even the Muslims love him? Yes. So I was like, okay. 3 days later, I met someone else. I said, so what's the percentage of people that loves the Prime Minister of India? The person said, without a blink, 95%. I said, wow, that's rare. Now, why is that rare? Is because he also lived like a yogi. He used to live in the Himalayas. he lived and he did his tapasya, and then he left the mountains and he went back home and he got his degree, but you can see the purity in his mind and heart still there. Like he make decisions which are Brahminical to his ability. And so the people he guides him are with Brahminical qualities. Doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes. Everyone has faults. So, but the things I see how he put in law, I was like, whoa. So this is a leader who lived like a yogi and became a politician. So you can see how the people who won't vote for him is because they are all the drug dealers, all the criminals. These are the ones he won't vote for him because he's clearing up the country to the best of his ability. Chanakya, so that's Chanakya Pandit. He was the Brahmin to the king. You can find the aphorisms. Chanakya. This is his name. CHANAKYA. Chanakya Pandit. Pandit. PANDITA. Chanakya Pandit. Amazing Brahmins, philosopher, scholar. So a lot of times not only Srila Prabhupada, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada's guru, would quote him. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur would quote him. Chanakya Pandit, yes. That's where it came from. Good. So let's continue to our next mantra. The final mantra of chapter 1. Srila Prabhupada translates, since Sri Krishna, the Absolute Truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter. So whenever the incarnations of God comes and they leave, they protect devotees, they kill demons, they allow the planet to be more in the mode of goodness, and they establish religious principles, spiritual practices, or dharma. So the rishis are saying here, we know when Kali Yuga started. Kali Yuga started when Lord Krishna and his abode and his devotees, they went back to the spiritual world. So that's when Kali Yuga started. So then where can we find the spiritual practices to help us while we are now in Kali Yuga? So this is the last question the rishis they asked the great sage Sutta Goswami. Divinity chapter 2. Let's start Divinity and Divine Service. Chapter 2. Text 1. Ugrashrara Sutta Goswami, the son of Romaharshan, being fully satisfied by the perfect questions of the Brahmins, thanked them and thus attempted to reply. So Sutta Goswami, the elder, he thanked them for their questions, and now he's going to reply. But how did he start to reply? The next mantra is very important. Before he even speak, he says, Srila Sutta Goswami said, Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the great sage, Shukadev Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. Who is Shukadev Goswami?
He's the Vyasadev's son,
And that's correct. And also,
who spoke to Bhagavatam originally. He's his teacher,
yes,
basically.
yes, he is Sutta Goswami's guru. So that's why as he's about to answer, he first gives respect to his guru, the yoga culture. Let me offer my respects to Shukadev Goswami. Even though he's only 16 years old, I am 1,000 years old. Let me give respect to my guru who is only 16 years old. Because he is able to enter the hearts of everyone because of his evolution. He says, when he's speaking about Sukadev Goswami, when he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyas, leaving home without undergoing the reformation by the sacred tread or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father, Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, "O my son, indeed only the trees which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the bereaved father." So before he even answers, he's telling them a little story about who his guru is. So, and what did his guru do? His guru left home, took sannyas at 16 years old, right? Without taking the Brahman initiation, without taking the sacred thread, he was born self-realized. Amazing, right? He came out of his mother's womb self-realized. So this is the... So before he even answer them, he's offering his respects to his guru. And this is followed by my guru, by Srila Prabhupada, by Prabhupada's guru. If you see any of them write their books or are about to speak, we always offer our respects to our gurus first, right? This is the culture. And then he's going to start to answer the questions. Yes. So this is the chapter, Divine and Divinity, right? Understanding what is divine, understanding what is divinity. So each and every one of us is a divine spiritual being because we are parts and parcel of God. And we just have to raise our vibration so that our divinity come out more and more and more. So when we associate with someone who's on that divine vibration, it rubs off on us. So as we start to study the Bhagavatam, those divine qualities will rub off on us. And I know each and every one of you has done many austerities in your last life before, because we are here. We're repeating the words of Shanaka Rishi and Sutta Goswami, Shukadev Goswami. So we're going to meditate on this. Thursday, I won't be here, unfortunately. I will be in Belize. I have to go to Belize for a short while. And Monday is a holiday. Yes. So I'll teach tomorrow and Wednesday. And then I will resume classes next week on Tuesday. Because I know it's Memorial Day weekend. And it's amazing, Memorial Day, isn't it? Is it called Memorial Day? Yes? What does that mean? Memory, right? We should remember our ancestors. So it's a beautiful holiday, right? Raise people's vibration, what our ancestors have done for us. Again, we're only living on their shoulders. Right? Let's come into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Palms on the knees, touch the tip of the thumbs, tip of the index fingers. Close the eyes softly. Bring the whole body into stillness. Bring the mind to the breath. As soon as we witness the breath, our mind comes into the mode of goodness. The mind comes into the now. gazing into the center of the eyebrows, and want you to recognize your amazing life. You were once a baby. You had a baby photo of yourself. Little fingers, little toes, little skull, little nostrils. And then you were a child walking. And you're a teenager, your body changed. Young adult. Hormones kicking in. And as an adult, school, an adult in the work field, you understand, oh wow, this amazing life has been filled with a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of evolution, a lot of mistakes. But somehow we start to question, who am I? The body is changing, but we know the person within who's witnessing doesn't change. The mind changes, the astral body changes, but you, the Atma, doesn't change. And you've met some amazing people in this life. Some people that allowed your life to go on different trajectory. I want you to bring those facial expression of those beings. It's not ordinary how you were able to grow when you met them. Bring those facial expression of beings who inspired you spiritually from you were a child. Know that those beings who inspired you spiritually, you had a karma with them at that moment, that time. That was a sacred moment, a sacred time while you connected. You evolved being around them. These beings are vibrations of purity. And you can see that vibration coming through you, knowing that as you live your life in a positive way, you become an extension of that vibration. We're grateful for the association of purified beings. Here we're being introduced to great vibrations of Sukadev Goswami, a 16-year-old self-realized being who knew he was not the body. He saw everyone as a spiritual being. We're introduced to his disciple, Suta Goswami, the oldest Vedantist. We're introduced to these amazing mystics who are living in a sacred place. I want you to remember a sacred place you have visited in your life now. That place where spiritual vibration evolves. That sacred place, the mode of goodness, helps us to tap into higher vibration. Grateful for those places. In those sacred places, we develop the sacrifices, the austerity. The rishis say the austerity to hear the Bhagavatam. Hear sacred song is a sacrifice that is not only beneficial for us, but beneficial for others who we will meet in our life, for the residents of the planet. It rubs off on them. Grateful for our Sangha, grateful for the Bhagavatam, grateful to Srila Prabhupada for translating the Bhagavatam. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale slowly. Breath to normal. Palms to the heart. Lower the head towards your higher self. And as you lower the head, remember all those amazing, powerful beings of the planet. We are standing on their shoulders as we continue for the next generation. Namaste. Lift the head, open the eyes. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Bashak. Thank you, Helene. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Nikunja. Mahalo, Greg. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Babadi. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Noel. Have a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow if you're free for Yoga Nidra. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thanks. Thank you, Yvonne.